Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name's Christiana Davidson. I'm a psychotherapist and a hypnotherapist, and I work in this area of narcissistic abuse. Whether that's in childhood or in adult relationships, doesn't really matter, to be honest. It's all the same thing, and usually people having come from a background of dysfunctional family anyway. Now, the topic today, I feel myself wanting to go on a bit of a rant about this. It's something that's really got me, what can I say, quite passionate in what I want to say. Because I know in the world at the moment, there's a big sort of movement towards the law of attraction, the law of assumption and manifestation. And I'd like to discuss today, or give my humble, not so humble opinion on one of the main concepts that I have heard. I'd like to give a little bit of guidance on this. So if you have experience of any of these ways of viewing the world, then stick around, stay right to the end, because there are some gems later on in the video, and you will miss them if you only stay for the first part. But I'll try to keep it succinct. I know I can go on a bit at times. Okay, so the topic today is the dangers of the law of attraction or law of assumption, and the concept everyone is you pushed out, or EIYPO as it's known. The dangers of EIYPO for codependents and empaths. So basically, in a nutshell, law of attraction, law of assumption, manifestation stuff. Basically, the law of attraction says, you get what you invest your energy and your vibration into. Basically, what you think about is going to come to you. You're going to manifest it. The law of assumption is that you have to already believe that you have what you want. You are the person you want to be. And when you live from that end, from that state, it must then reveal itself in your world, in the 3D, as it's called. So this concept of everyone is you pushed out, it didn't originate in the law of assumption. Neville Goddard spoke of it, but this is something that has been a feature in many of the world faiths. It goes back ancient times, and there have been adaptations of it. So although it is a part of the law of assumption, it is not something that belongs to it, in other words. Even Jung's shadow work, which I really love, aligns with it to some extent. So that phrase, everyone is you, everyone is you. Just stay with that for a minute. Everyone is you pushed out. So everyone you meet is you. Okay, so just let's stay with that for a minute. This is how some coaches interpret it. And there is some truth in that, but we need to unpack it clearly so that we're not vulnerable to the dangers of this. And I say here, this is so dangerous, this belief that everyone is me. I think it's incorrect, and it's not the correct teaching or assumption we should come to. That is especially so when it comes to narcissism and dealing with narcissists. Because they say everyone in your life is reflecting back to you a part of yourself that you don't want to see. That's what EIYPO is suggesting, that everybody's in your life is reflecting to you, is you coming to you. And if you have a narcissistic type in your life, it's you coming to you, and that's the part you don't want to see. And you need to accept that. You need to accept that this narcissist is you, in other words. Does that make sense? I've had a client, in fact, come to me and say, look, I keep attracting narcissists, and therefore I must be a narcissist. I've often wondered, am I? I keep attracting them, and therefore I think I need to accept that I am at fault here. I need to look at my own narcissistic traits, because I keep attracting them to me, and everyone is me pushed out. Now, stay with me on that one. I'm going to come back to it in a minute and debunk it. Likewise, this EIYPO concept has led to people making comments like, well, he's only an abuser because you're seeing him like that. You're creating him, but with your thoughts. He's only an abuser because you're saying he is. If you change your image of yourself and him to a more favorable one, then he will change. And this is exactly why people stay in abusive relationships, because they believe that something that they are doing is causing the abuse, that they are at fault somehow, and that if they were different, or if they just weren't so sensitive, or so needy, or if they were stronger in their self-esteem, then their partner would be able to love them. It would all be better, and they're the problem. Well, no, and I underline that, no, it is not about changing your view or your experience, your lived experience of that person, because that, my friends, is denial of reality, and it's also a cutting off from your gut instinct. But it may be an opportunity to change your view of you being the problem to them being the problem, more like. So let's pick up on that client of mine that came, thinking she must be the narcissist because of all the narcissists she's attracting, and therefore, everyone's you pushed out. So what is the universe telling me here? Maybe I'm not accepting, this shadow part of myself here. And you can see how this could lead somebody to be really abused by a law of attraction coach or a law of assumption coach who may be narcissistic. Well, I said to this client, no, you are not the narcissist. And this is really important now to grasp. In my own view, which is similar to Jung's shadow self, we draw people to ourselves who reflect not only aspects of who we can be at times. Maybe we do have some, similarities of narcissistic traits. We all do, sometimes they might be a bit, we might be a bit jealous about something, or you know what I mean, but we're not a narcissist. But often, and this is key, we attract people to ourselves who we are not like. And the reason we attract these people, the reason they're in our lives, is to reflect to us those parts of us that we need to build ourselves up in. So, in other words, empaths will more than likely attract narcissists. Empaths or codependents will attract narcissistic types, as we know. Why? It's not because the empath or the codependent is the narcissist. It's because the empath or the codependent is seeing the healthy narcissism that is dormant within them. This narcissist is almost nudging them to see that they need to grow their own healthy narcissism, which is what we all are meant to have. Narcissism is not bad. Healthy narcissism is not bad. We're meant to have it. So in this encounter here, we have the empath codependent attracting the narcissist because they are deficient in healthy assertion, healthy narcissism. But they are not attracting narcissists because they are the narcissist. No, sorry. And this is where some of those coaches cause such untold harm to vulnerable clients because, you know, either they themselves don't really get it, or they can be narcissistic themselves. And I'll go into a bit more of that later. So what happens then is codependents, empaths go around sort of doubting their experience, staying in abusive relationships, you know, trying to make themselves better maybe, and take on, you know, ownership of their part, and, you know, believing that if they change, then the other person will change. If they change their self-concept, then that person will change. And that actually they're no different to the narcissist. But they are. That's the whole point. They are so different. Too different. You know, this is where the law of assumption, law of attraction, it kind of skips out a whole law, in my view, because opposites do attract. You know, we hear in these ways of living that like attracts like. Well, if you think of a magnet, opposites attract. We hear about it in romantic relationships. Opposites do attract. And maybe that's an area that needs to be integrated into this philosophy. That may bring it to make it more healthy for vulnerable people who are vulnerable to others' interpretations. Another suggestion of the law of attraction, law of assumption, is to envisage the abusive relationship as you would like it to be. You know, envisage other people treating you the way you wish to be treated. But really, in a way, it's kind of, in some ways, that suggests, you know, other people are there for my benefit, or using them for my benefit. They need to be what I want them to be. And that's not what we're here for. We're here to be in relationship. Relationship with others. And relationship itself means at least two. I can't be in relationship with only me. If everybody is me, I'm only in relationship with me. That, my friends, is narcissism. That's the narcissistic view of the world. No, I am in relationship with the other, and the other reflects to me who I am. I get to know myself by seeing the other, by getting to know the other. Very, very important. We are one, yes. We're one body, as they call it, or one universe. But we are many individuals. We're meant to be. And we form the one together, but we are not just one. Like I said, others do mirror us to ourselves, but it doesn't mean that we are them, or they are us. No. Or that person is me. No. Or I am that person. No, it does not. They reveal us to ourselves, but they also reveal who they are to us. That is what relationship is about. It's not only about me, it's about the other revealing themselves too. So, last bit here. A lot of the law of assumption, Neville Goddard, it does the most incredible interpretations of scripture. Really astounding depth to some of the understanding of the life of Jesus and the metaphysical nature of the Bible. But if we look at Jesus in the Bible, I mean, he was constantly seeing and meeting narcissists. He was constantly meeting the Pharisees, the scribes, the Sadducees, all of those, and they were all highly narcissistic. Now, does that mean that Jesus should have looked at them and go, oh my God, everyone's me pushed out? What is this revealing to me about me? No, of course it doesn't. And was Jesus there thinking, okay, well, now I need to envisage changing them or changing, who they are and who I am, how I'm showing up so that we can have a different relationship? No. He accepted them as they revealed themselves to him. He saw them. He saw who they were. He trusted his gut on who they were. And he wasn't afraid to call out their otherness, their difference to him. And that's the thing. Empathic codependent types reveal narcissistic types when they're in their presence. And narcissistic types do not like it. It's narcissists who are going to be attracting empaths and codependents. And that is because the empath is revealing to the narcissist their narcissism. And that is why narcissists cannot stand empaths, cannot stand codependents, because they reveal them to themselves. They reflect to them their empathic deficiency and their vulnerability. And of course, for a narcissist, the aim, therefore, is to destroy the enemy of their false self, their narcissistic self. And the empath, unfortunately, is often the catalyst for the narcissist to get a narcissistic injury of some description. They have to put the empath down, the codependent down. So if somebody is attracting empaths and codependents, well, it's something to really have a look at. It's not that actually you're an empath and a codependent. No, you're attracting your opposite, in my view. Okay. So let me sum this up now before it goes on too long. In my own very simple way of putting it, this is how I understand the concept of everyone as you pushed out. Excuse me, I'm just aware my laptop isn't plugged in here. So everyone reveals, so everyone as you pushed out, everyone reveals to me one of the following three, and this comes from Jung, more of a Jung understanding. Either who I was, who I am, or who I could have the potential to be, both positive and negative, but I am not them. I am not the narcissist, but they reveal to me me. They reflect to me They give me the opportunity to get to know myself. And in that sense, I can forgive them, I can thank them, and I can release them with love for the catalyst they have been for me to know myself more deeply as not the narcissist. So it certainly does not mean that you are them. No. Nor are you to blame for how they've treated you. Nor is it that you are not embodying fully enough the new you. Nor does it mean that your efforts at manifesting things are just not good enough, or that you're not doing it properly because you keep getting these types. No, not at all. They are, in fact, the way to all that you are wishing for, to that person you're longing to be. They are the way, and they show you the way, but they do not reveal to you who you are in entirety. That's not everyone is what that's not the healthy interpretation of everyone as you pushed out. They are a mirror. And the fact that you may be attracting narcissists actually only reveals who you are, not a narcissist. I hope that's helped some of you just perhaps feel a bit clearer about all of this. You know, it's not an easy concept. I'm sure there are, I'm sure people will have their own comments and views on this. And I'm only grappling with this myself. I've only just started to, so I'm sure the understanding could go much deeper. And if you have any more clarity, please share it with everybody. It would be very helpful. And if this is your first time here and you found this helpful, please subscribe and do share it. Okay, everybody, have a lovely evening, and I shall see you again very, very soon. Take care.